What is up, you guys? CC Clemens, aka Vibin' Weirdo. July 2024 movies ranked. Let's go! In the rankings for this month, IMAX, full price, matinee, stream. Nah. Just nah. That's it. For the month of July, I watched Despicable Me 4, Kinds of Kindness, MaXXXine.
Shame.
Okay. Longlegs, Fly Me to the Moon, Twisters, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, yellow for Wolverine, yellow for him today. Shut up. We're gonna start with Despicable Me 4, number quattro. Getting into it, I already felt kind of like, Unfortunately for me and my family, my sister, my pops that I went to see this with, we just weren't feeling it. We drove an hour to watch this in a better theater, not IMAX, but the next step up, and it was just a little underwhelming. It just felt mid and like a cash grab. And I'm just realizing the older I get, the less and less these animated films are working for me. And take that for what it is. There's a lot of people, especially younger folks, that really enjoyed this and loved it, and I do not want to rain on their parade. I'm glad that they enjoyed it. It just didn't land for me. Was it a terrible film? Not by any means. It is the weakest, in my opinion, from the other Despicable Me films. It was okay. It was a cute time at the movies. I'm still glad I went out to see it. It just was not worth that hour drive. So with that being said, I'm going to put Despicable Me on matinee, especially considering the target audience that this movie was made for. All right, next. Kinds of Kindness. Oh boy, Kinds of Kindness was interesting. This was the first movie that I watched at like 10 a.m. because this movie was 3 hours long, so nice and thick. And even though I liked it somewhat, I'm glad I got it out the way earlier in the day. So Kinds of Kindness, we have a weird relationship. Like, I knew it was going to be a weird film. I don't know it's going to be this weird. Yeah, and Emma Stone, the whole cast did amazing. Acting was incredible across the board. If you're the type of person that wants to take away something very significant when you watch a movie, kind of like Poor Things, or just your normal story, your normal movie, and just take away like a life lesson or something you can apply to life or be inspired by. This is not that one for you. This is not the one. Some people are able to like think deeper and take something from it. The way my brain's set up, I didn't take much from this at all. So in this, you have 3 different stories played by the same actors. Now that part is really cool. I did enjoy that. It's just the stories themselves was like, okay, cool. Great, that's and then it just ends. It's just like, this is a story that I wrote and I made it up, and you're gonna watch it, and it has a beginning and it has an end. Now the end may not work for you, the end may not be satisfactory, the ending may not have a solid conclusion, but it's a beginning and end. And I'm not mad at the writer for that. It is different, it is unique, very weird. I wouldn't say great, but I had a good time with it. I wish there were more people there, but who else is trying to go to the movies at 10 a.m.? Who's trying to do that? Didn't enjoy this one nearly as much as Poor Things, but that's fine. Everything everyone makes is not gonna hit the same. So I'm gonna put Kinds of Kindness. This is challenged because for the average viewer, stream is the way to go for this. But I'm gonna give it matinee. I'll have more fun with that than Despicable Me 4. So we'll say that. And next is MaXXXine. I did that again. Stop doing that. It's not funny. So yes, MaXXXine is the 3rd movie in the X franchise. We had X, we had Pearl, which was the prequel. I will say I enjoyed this more probably than the other 2. I'll have to watch X again to refresh my memory because I love the mystery element that was behind it. Mia Goth is just incredible. Her range is just very impressive. And I love the tie into the Night Stalker, the real life Night Stalker. That was a cool connection. But when things were unveiled, like who that was or their connection, it really threw me off. I was like, huh? Wait a minute, what? And I don't like when I'm asking them questions. I won't say, because I know everyone hasn't had a chance to watch it. It was one particular actor. Zack Attack said it best. Very Scooby-Doo-like type of acting. It's just like, what? You are overdoing it, bro. You are not matching the vibe of literally the whole cast. No one in this film is acting like this but you, and you're messing up this moment. Stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? That really made the big reveal of, for me personally, very anticlimactic. But aside from that, it was very bloody, gory. I felt like they did wrong to a particular character. They always do our people wrong. Why do y'all do that? Kevin Bacon, he was in here. He did incredible. And it was fun. I had fun with this. That ending part, that last act was just not working for me. And the way they tried to tie it into the Night Stalker, it really threw me off and I didn't fully understand it. I still kind of don't. in a way, but I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna put that at full price. All right, and next is Longlegs. I will be honest, when I saw the first trailer, I was like, huh, girl gone, Longlegs, haha, funny. But after seeing another trailer for it and people really talking about this was like a great horror film, one of the best, all of that, I was like, okay, I'm definitely more intrigued to check this out. And that's what I get for letting the media like play into my excitement for film. Unfortunately, it caused Longlegs to be a bit of a letdown as far as the scare factor. Now, as a whole, the movie was really great. It carried this very dark, sinister type vibe throughout the whole, like from the very beginning. Like as soon as that's opening scene to the end and the credits, it's this constant eeriness that never goes away. And I did love that, kind of. I don't like feeling that way for that long. And I must say, Nicolas Cage's performance in here was incredible. Like one of his best performances that I've personally seen. And then, Maika Monroe, she was great as well. I loved her role as Agent Lee. Great story. I loved the way they connected everything together. Great kind of plot twist in a way. This is not like a horror, like Conjuring, Insidious, sinister type film. It's a serial killer horror film where you know who the killer is, and there's just like some sinisterness surrounding that, but it's not like, oh, ghosts and ghouls and all of that crazy stuff. In a way. But even with that, I would still put that at full price. Next is Fly Me to the Moon. Now, Fly Me to the Moon, this was the movie I was least looking forward to. When a movie set in the 1950s or 60s, whatever, 19-some, before, if it's before the 1970s, I'm probably not going to have a piqued interest. But I watched it anyways, and this turned out to be a really great movie. I really had a great time with this. I enjoyed myself. I laughed a lot throughout this. The chemistry between Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson was awesome. Definitely leans more on the romantic comedy side. Scarlett Johansson definitely fit the role better as far as, okay, I feel like I'm in this time frame. Him, I didn't feel that as much, but it wasn't enough to bother me and cause a bad experience. So yeah, I absolutely enjoyed and loved this film. And I was not expecting that walking in, so I had an even more fun time with it. Fly Me to the Moon gets a freaking full price. All right, y'all, and next is Twisters. And this was another one of those ones where I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, and that's it. I saw it and I was like, cool. I'll watch it because that's what I do. But there was nothing in that, for me personally, that like made me crazy about watching it or super excited or intrigued to watch it. But I did anyways. And I will tell you, I loved this movie. The story was really good. It centers around this character, Kate, and how she just loves to explore. And he goes over her backstory of this traumatic experience with the tornado, how she's trying to heal from that and move on and help people. Yeah, and Glenn Powell, he did great as well. He's not a personal favorite of mine, but anything I've seen him in so far has been pretty solid. The music was fun. This definitely had more country soundtrack in there, but it fit this theme. And they incorporated current times, like how everything, not everything, but a lot of things are social media and recording and YouTube. And I love how they incorporated that into the film and made light of it. There was some humor definitely with that, but some realism too. There were certain scenes I was watching, I was like, oh man, I should have seen this in IMAX. The soundtrack was just bumping. It was good. And I do not like country like that, but it works so well with this movie. And I also like how they didn't make light of just it's just not, we're not just glorifying tornadoes. We're showing you like how vicious and detrimental these things are. With that being said, for Twisters, I'm actually going to give that IMAX. CGI with the tornadoes and how everything was shot. I still wish I would have caught that on IMAX. And I didn't, and that's okay. And we move on. All right, you guys. And last but not least, Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine. Get it together. So I was highly anticipating this movie. I am personally not a Deadpool fan. His first two films are great. It's just Ryan Reynolds being himself in his most raunchy, ridiculous element. And I love that for him. And the movies were fun, just not my personal favorites. Seeing Wolverine in here, I was also excited to see him come back and make a return. And Logan is one of my favorite superhero films because in Logan, he died. And if that's a spoiler for you, get noobed because that thing came out in 2017. You got to get it together. This was so much fun, and I can't stress how funny this was. Ryan Reynolds did an incredible job. Hugh Jackman, of course. What was the most impressive and what I was looking forward to, like, okay, being funny is great, but if I'm watching a superhero movie, I need to see destruction, domination, blood, guts, slice and dice. Yes, domination! Like, within that first scene, I was just overwhelmed with the amount of violence that was presented before me, and I loved that for myself. Really, really great. Cool. Dope fighting scenes. I mean, moments that got me go, woo! Like, oh, that's good. Nice. Like, I'm doing that throughout the film. There's a lot of sexual references and suggestions. The only thing they don't have is actual sex scenes, which actually was a good thing because that allowed us to take our younger sister with us. And that's what I feel is going to help this get to 1 billion. A lot of people are already watching it a second time. I'm debating watching it a second time. I'm going to let it marinate for a week, make sure I'm just not like caught in the hype of everybody else. The soundtrack was incredible. I will say I am very tired of the multiverse stuff, that end of the world stuff and the timelines and multiverse and bringing them from here and bringing them from there and this and that. And oh, we went here. And if you don't do this, then it affects that. Like, that is so played out. Like, it is so oversaturated. That part did draw me back a little bit. And there was some pretty great cameos in here. I will not spoil them, but awesome cameos and very shocking. Like, what? Oh my God. Okay. I was just really, I was this particular one. I was just cheesing from ear to ear. I will say I would have wanted a little more out of certain cameos. I understand why we didn't get it because this is about Deadpool and Wolverine at the end of the day. But to have a 2 hour and 7 minute movie, I personally wanted, we could like replace some of those slow moments with more from these particular characters. Even with that, still love the freaking movie. And I still do want to watch it a second time just to solidify my thoughts on it. And lastly, what makes this stand out is like there are certain scenes in here, probably like 3 or 4 that I can recall, that I want to relive on the big screen again. I just had to clutch whatever was next to me, like, oh my God, that was so freaking awesome. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. Nothing crazy. I'm fine. This is going to be one of the biggest films of the year. So stop playing Deadpool and Wolverine IMAX. So as I said, y'all, July was an awesome, solid month. And things got better the further and further into the month. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drink your water as always. Stop playing. Peace. Sure you can! That's what he said.